after doing AIMS, you went into UPSC. So, what was that change of mindset?
Where I realized that health is not just something which we see in hospitals, but it starts from the home.
When you were in AIMS and you thought that okay, I'm think about UPSC, did you feel like an outcast?
If you try to do something unconventional, you become isolated or peripheral amongst the community.
What would be your advice to the medical students thinking about UPSC?
First, second year you just enjoy, and third year you can start preparing.
Especially MBBS students would have a edge over the others if they choose medical subjects as their optional.
Definitely, this year also many doctors have qualified with medical science optional. Like,
What do you think is the minimum time or the maximum time required to crack UPSC?
people have qualified UPSC in as much as
What are the few changes that you recommend that you will take an action on? What would you do? You were put as a DM of Pahalgam.
as a DM of Pahalgam.
We are recording this episode the next day after the Pahalgam attack. And I would like to dedicate this episode to the victims of that attack. We are with you and we are in this fight together. I appeal to the government not to let those people who have made this attack go free, and they should bear harsh consequences. Today we have a very special guest. Medico and UPSC. That's a very weird combination, but I believe one of the most successful ones. Our guest today has secured All India rank of 155 in UPSC 2025 at the age of just tender 24. That too in his first attempt. He is an AIMS Delhi graduate. He got 128 rank in his own NEET UG exam. He was also rank 3 in UPSC combined medical exam. And he is the guy who has gone beyond titles and has chosen to serve this country in a different format. So let's put our hands together and let's welcome Dr. Pulkit Bansal. So welcome Dr. Pulkit to the Nachiket Bhatia show.
Thank you, sir.
What you have achieved today, rank 155 in the UPSC 2025, it is nothing short of amazing. Congratulations, and we are very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
So Pulkit, tell me the moment that you saw your rank in that PDF sheet, what was your reaction?
Sir, actually, starting this April, I was working in a school as a doctor. So I was just going away back home when I got a call from a coaching institute that you have got rank so and so. So I was, you can say, not able to see. There is a PDF myself, got to know from others. There was a mixed feeling. First, that why mixed? Because there was this now kind of satisfaction that at least you could get into the services at your first attempt. You don't have to get into the cycle of repeated preparations. But and some dissatisfaction was because you didn't get your desired services. That's
So what will you get and what is your desired services?
Sir, I will be most probably getting IPS, although I had IAS as my first priority and IFS at a second priority. But I am happy that I got IPS, and if this is my destiny kind of thing, I will be satisfactorily working to contribute to public services through IPS.
I think brilliant people make their own destinies. I think you are born to make your own destiny.
Sir, there is a concept in our Sanatan Dharma which is Prarabdha. Which means that although you have to do your karmas, but there is some planetary alignment or this astronomical something which plays a significant role in your successes or results. So I think both your hard work and the luck both matters in any kind of exam, whether it's UPSC or medical entrances or any other exam or any.
True.
Yes.
That 1% hand of God plays the most pivotal role.
Yes.
So Pulkit, tell me about how you started this journey. I mean, you have cracked AIMS also. That's one of the biggest achievements in life too. 128 rank, right? And after doing AIMS, you went into UPSC. So what was that change of mindset? How did you, realize one day that, okay, AIMS is not my final destination and something else is my calling? How did that happen?
So, sir, the seed of this was sown during third year of my MBBS in AIMS, we have a kind of rural posting in Ballabgarh, Haryana. We got there for a month or so, where I realized that health is not just something which we see in hospitals, but it starts from the home. For example, if there is no sanitation, people are having poor standards of living, there is overcrowding, there is no good water supply, people are not aware about hygiene, sanitation, etc. So we need to more work on those promotive and preventive aspects of healthcare, besides curative and palliative care. So that was one thing. Then in internship, a final year and internship also, I realized that civil services will provide me a kind of platform through which I will be able to impact a large number of lives, and also I will be able to directly use my medical knowledge to bring some transformational changes, which as a doctor I would have only hoped that maybe the government should do this or should do that. So this is a platform to achieve all those things.
True. That's a very inspirational thing that you are vying for. Tell me, when you were in AIMS and you were, you thought that, okay, I'm going to break the conventional NEET UG, NEET PG and think about UPSC. Did you feel like an outcast or were the people supportive around you?
Sir, although I won't say that I am the first one to do so, there were many precedents before me. There are many seniors of mine who are in the civil services, and many others who have not followed the conventional path of PG and super specializations. I would say that if you try to do something unconventional, there is definitely you become isolated or peripheral amongst the community, because then your schedules or the kind of preparation, those things, they differed from the other people and you feel left out. But in my case, I didn't tell anyone that I am preparing for the UPSC. So everyone was of the belief that I am preparing for NEET PG only, AIMS INI set. And that's why there was this. Actually, my friends offered me support that if you are not able to crack a NEET PG, we will help you. If you have any concerns, do tell us. So they were very supportive in that way.
You did not attempt NEET PG. You simply said ki if I have to give an exam, that will be UPSC only. Wasn't it scary to give an exam without any backup?
Sir, I think doctors, in this case, I have a advantageous position that they are at least having MBBS degree. If nothing happens, at least they can become a family physician, or they can give CMS also, combined medical services, through which they can become CMOs in government dispensaries and PHCs. So we had always a backup in form of MBBS. But achieving goals like this requires oneself to take some risk. So what I did was nothing different. I also took a risk, and by God's grace, I was able to achieve what I wanted.
If you had known that UPSC was your final goal before AIMS, would you have still chosen medical?
No, sir. Then I would have taken humanities subject in class 11, 12 arts, and then I would have gone for UPSC.
So, what would be your advice to a student who is, in 11th or 12th? What should they opt for to actually be foremost focus on UPSC, cracking UPSC on the very first go?
Sir, I would say that in school they should enjoy school, because school time is very precious. The kind of enjoyment or fun one can do in school doesn't come back again. So they should enjoy in the school, irrespective of the subjects, because many engineers also crack UPSC. So it's not that just humanities background will be helpful. So any subject they choose, they should read it properly and enjoy in the school. And once they have decided that they have to go to UPSC, you have to read all the subjects. So that then the kind of efforts you put in, the kind of preparations, the strategies you make, that will be apart from the luck, which I feel is very important. That will be a good predictor of what the results you achieve.
What would be your advice to the medical students thinking about UPSC? How should they prepare and when should they start preparing for UPSC?
So, sir, regarding the medicos, I would say only the MBBS graduates should come to UPSC, not the specialized or super specialized one, because it's waste of government resources, I think. Although UPSC offers you optional in the form of medical sciences, that's because they want people from diverse backgrounds to get into the civil services. For example, if the pandemic would have been, if the for example during the COVID pandemic, if doctors were not there, I think the kind of policies, the quarantine or the isolation, these kind of medical terminologies would be very difficult for non-medical personnel to understand and to frame and take quick decisions, like you have to do contact tracing and so on and so forth. So this kind of diverse perspective helps in policy making. But those who have already done their PG or are pursuing their PG, they shouldn't come into the civil services. Rather, they should then go for another super specialization, and then they can serve in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities where there is a lot of potential. Tier 1 cities have been become almost saturated now. And regarding the time when they should start preparing during their MBBS, I think third year is a good option. For first year, you should just enjoy after you have come after such a competitive race into a medical college. First, second year, you just enjoy. And third year, you can start preparing. Finally, you have to pass your final profs. And then in internship, if you are prepared, you can give an attempt in your internship or after completion of your internship.
When did you start your own preparation?
Sir, I started my preparation in start of my internship in January 2023.
And you cracked the exam with just an year of preparation
Yes.
in the very first attempt.
Yes.
That's just amazing, yaar. How did you go about it? What was your daily schedule like?
Sir, there were some postings in during internship which were light and some were heavy. So in light postings, I used to get time, and I had kept my resources as minimum as possible for every subject. And my main focus was to understand the subjects rather than just cramming it, because UPSC is not just the kind of factual questions they ask. They want you to apply your analysis, your reasoning to answer the questions. So my first focus was to understand the conceptual clarity, and then the kind of experience which I had gained from my 11th and 12th competitive preparations. I think that phase also helped me in cracking the UPSC, because the kind of strategies you need, I had experience in 11th and 12th, so that phase also helped me to crack UPSC, sir.
So tell me about your experience in the mains exam. I have heard a lot of people, while going to the mains exam are feeling bouts of anxiety कि अगर ये नहीं निकला तो सारी preparation खराब हो जाएगी.
Sir, mains is very tiring phase of this UPSC journey, because you have to write so many exams continuously. Your hands start paining. My focus was that you have to be very quick in understanding the demand of the questions. You have to write, your presentation of answer should be very good, and you should have very good speed to complete the paper on time. And this strategy, I think, worked in my mains paper. I was able to complete almost all GS papers and optional paper on time, and I think this helped me to get through the mains also in my first attempt.
What was your optional subject?
My optional subject was sociology, sir.
I have seen so many UPSC rankers, and especially the doctors, they never choose medical subjects as their optional. What is the reason?
Sir, my personal reason was that the medical, if you analyze the kind of efforts you need to put in medical science optional, the rewards are not proportional to it. So I also had time crunch also, because I had 1 year of preparation only. So I took sociology, for which good guidance was available, good resources were available. The syllabus was relatively shorter, so I took that subject. And it's more of very common. It's a more of common sense, the happenings around you in the society. So it attracted me a lot.
But don't you think doctors would have, especially MBBS students, would have a edge over the others if they choose medical subjects as their optional?
Definitely. This year also, many doctors have qualified with medical science optional, like a few double-digit rankers as well. But that depends on the individual circumstances, the kind of time they have, the amount of efforts they put in. And if you put a right amount of time, efforts, then any optional subject will fetch you marks.
Tell me about your experience in the interviews.
So my interview was in April 2025. So on the day, we were very excited that actually I used to bypass through that area quite often. So we used to see candidates standing outside the UPSC Bhavan preparing, getting ready for their interview. So that kind of thinking was getting into reality that day. So I was very happy. My parents were very happy that they didn't expect me to get into that interview phase in the first attempt. So we all were very happy. We entered inside. Actually, I was the last person standing in the queue outside the UPSC Bhavan. So my formalities got late, and suddenly I was surprised to know that I was the first candidate to be called for the interview. So thought that I haven't got enough time to get settled, to just interact and to discuss some actually there are newspapers as well, so you can just glance through them, because they might ask you the current today's that day's affairs as well. So I didn't get any time, and I was just quickly rushed into the UPSC interview boardroom. And then I was in whole my journey of UPSC, I think one thing which helped me was that I never had any expectations. That relieved me of stress, and I was able to give my whatever preparations I had done, I was able to properly execute that. I was very calm in my interview. I entered inside the room. I was waiting outside. Then I was called. I greeted them. uh, then the first question only, I think they asked me something like, do you know the kind of allocation which government has done for Bhutan? So I in that question only I said I don't know. So usually what happens is, if you are if you don't know, if you fumble up in your first question, so there is a demoralizing effect, or you try to lose your confidence. But I had known that this might affect me, so I had prepared already. That's why if you don't know, you don't have to lose your confidence. Just say you don't know, simply. So because every person cannot know everything. So this is how the interview started. Then they asked, I mean, the questions were not my domain specific, they were quite diverse, interconnecting various domains like economy, energy, international relations, medical sector, recent technology like blockchain technology, uh, situational questions like, if you have been made a DM, what will you do? So a diverse kind of questions. Factual questions like, how many wheels and horses are there in Konark temple of Odisha, and what do they signify? So diverse amount of variety of questions were there. And I think interview is less of the less test of your knowledge or factual accuracies. It's more of your personality test. They try to see whether you are ethical, you have the personality to lead the team. You have to if you have the capacity to work in a if team and provide leaderships. I think that is more the purpose for which personality test is being conducted. And recently the mark sheets have also been announced, and I have got 209 marks in personality test, which is one of the good scores. So I think maintaining calmness and honesty is the key to success in personality test.
That's fascinating. It's genuinely fascinating to know such diverse questions are being asked, and the person sitting next to me is basically is answering everything. So I'm just glad to have this interview of yours. But on behalf of everyone, I believe we would like to know more questions that were asked to you.
Like I told, the questions were interconnected. So after asking financial allocations for the Bhutan, they started asking about Bhutan's economy, the hydropower sector. Then they ask renewable energy, like hydro energy is a good major source of renewable energy. So what are the pros and cons, its advantages over other sources of renewable energy? Then they sent me to Manipur as a DM. Your priorities for Manipur in case of Northeast is blessed with so much natural forest, and geography is quite difficult to navigate there. Your priorities as a district magistrate. Then they asked me like, how will you tackle the issues of spurious drugs? They asked me the role of pharma sector in India. Then they shifted, because during that time Trump was threatening, honorable president of USA was threatening to impose sanctions, retaliatory tariffs. So what impact would it have on this, because India's major exports include pharmas. So what impact will it have on India? The recent exit of US from WHO. Then they asked me this regarding nationalism. What kind of uh, like there is quite rise of right wing parties in Europe and Western countries. So what impact do you see of rising hyper nationalism all across the world? Then they shifted me to Konark Temple regarding what's the significance. Then they asked me like, if you are a medical doctor and you have seen disorders of dyselectrolytemia like hyper or hyponatremia or potassium disorders. So they asked ki which fruit is there which will try to just minimize these electrolyte disorders. So then they asked what's the difference between CBSE and ICSE board. So I think these were the questions they asked me into. So it was quite diverse and
I think
enriched.
some questions can go extreme and some questions can go very basic also.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I've also seen that I've seen ranker videos where people are always telling that it's better to not answer wrong. It's better to not answer wrong and just say I do not know rather than just keep fumbling and keep going in with an incorrect answer. Now is that true?
Yes, sir. Because if you accept that you don't know, that indicates that you are willing to learn. You are not just making up your answers. But if you try to oversmart them, then there's a problem, and then they will just show you the way out of the UPSC.
Should I ask you a spontaneous question?
Yes, sir.
You can answer no also if it's something. So consider this a UPSC interview also. What would you do if you were put as a DM of Pahalgam today?
So, sir, as a DM of Pahalgam, my priorities will include first, we have to ensure that the families, those who have been lost, their bodies have been properly carried away and properly transported to their respective families because they were mostly tourists only. Number second, sir, there were concerns that delay in arriving of medical facilities uh, could have been avoided. So, if we can ensure medical facilities around these tourist places, that would also be on my radar. Number three, in collaboration with the police, because the law and order is been their domain, we can ensure that the kind of infiltration which is happening across the border, the kind of overground workers who are supporting the terrorists, who are them, who we have to identify them and ensure that the security internal there is no threat to internal security as such. So these are some of the things which are on my radar during if I would have been the DM of the Pahalgam.
Also, I would say that I'm just dedicating this podcast to all the victims of that tragedy, but the government should ensure that how come in such a secure area of Kashmir, how could terrorists enter into that area? Why wasn't the army or the police not around that area that actually led to this tragedy? So it's a very sad thing that has happened, and the whole team of the Nachiket Bhatia show. In fact, I think the whole country stands together at this time of sadness, and we pray first of all that all the families of that tragedy rest in peace, all the members, and I believe that the government should take the harshest steps against those terrorists. Coming back to the podcast, I'm sorry, but that's just a sensitive subject that I think we need to address. So let's talk about the interviews again. Very interesting questions that we had, Pulkit. So, at any point of time throughout this journey, did you ever think that you had taken the wrong step?
Never, sir.
Not even a second.
Not even a second.
You were sure that okay, if UPSC nahi to aur kuch nahi.
Well, no, sir, it's not like that. I had always a backup that I will go into PG if I am not able to get through this cycle. But at least for my initial attempts, there was no thinking of failures or fears of any kind of adverse results. I was putting my all of the efforts and energy to get out of this in my first attempt.
I've seen persistence in you. I've seen dedication in you. And of course, your personality's test scores say a different, ball game number. But we are really impressed the way you have handled all the journey. Because I talked to Prashant, who secured the rank last year. Even he had given NEET PG. So, of course, I'm not saying that he had doubts or anything. But normally, this is what people tend to do. So, that kind of dedication is also very impressive. Hats off to you.
Thank you, sir.
So, tell me something. Do you think that civil services will be more rewarding than medical services? Just, being a doctor and serving the community.
Sir, I think it's more of an individual choice that they want to do public services in form of a doctor or a civil servant, and it's more of a individual approach. I don't think we should compare that, because doctors are as equally important in the country as our civil servants. So both have their respective places in the society, and both are necessary for the society.
Any preparation strategy tip that you would like to give to your juniors who are preparing for the exam? Some secret sauce that, you took for yourself and saw that it gave a superb result.
Sir, I think first there should be clarity of the reason why are you shifting your career from medical services to civil services. There should not be this kind of motivation that you will get power or you will become famous by making reels or something like that as your motivation to get into civil services. Rather, there should be a strong sense and feeling of public service, and to use this platform for a greater good of the society. Number second, regarding the preparation strategies, I think, sir, one should have done their SWOT analysis, like your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. One should play with their strengths. Like I had, a good memory. I had more of, good analytical skills. My presentation skills got better during my MBBS when I had to write the professional examinations. So everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and accordingly they should make a strategy. But my major advice would be, first, to keep their resources as minimum as possible, and number second, they should try to gain conceptual clarity, try to interlink various topics, so that a wholesome perspective is being given by the student aspirants during their examination, rather than very restricted narrow kind of answers, which will help them fetch good marks as well.
Does ratification actually work in the UPSC prep?
Although, sir, there is some amount of data you have to remember, the kind of facts and figures which will add value to your answer, but mostly it's more of a conceptual understanding and analysis.
I've seen a lot of students who are, thinking of preparing for UPSC. They don't get clarity till their internship. I think that's the true fact here. We normally, I've seen you telling right now that you should start from third year, but they tend to get a clarity PG or UPSC in their internship part only. So is UPSC prep realistically possible with internship?
Sir, my case was to this only, that I started preparing in internship only, and I am a live example before you that I have done preparation during internship and got through. But I would say that it's more of a individual's capability and strengths, which will help them determine whether they need 1 year or 2-3 years of preparation. So it should be left to them.
Did it ever, when you were going through the fact, ever again, I'm, repeating this question back again, because this is very important to our audience. When you're choosing the non-conventional path, I'm sure there's a moment when you stop and think about, yaar, what if I've taken the wrong step? What if I've simply gone through that UG, PG, SS and lived my life peacefully? In the complete 1 year of preparation, there might be 1 second when your brain might have told you, okay, you are going in the wrong direction. What did you do in that moment?
Sir, although I would say that I had quite a lot of thinking and time while deciding that I should go for civil services, but once I decided, there was no looking back, and then I just put in my efforts and energy in achieving my goals. So once I decided that I have to go for civil services, there was no this kind of doubts and anxiety of taking a wrong step or path. I was clear that I have to go to civil services, and I just prepared diligently.
What would be your advice that how a new aspirant, when he's going through that kind of doubt moment, how should he or she handle this thought process?
Number first, sir, there should be a clarity of thought, like why you want to go to civil services, because that will be the motivation factor all throughout your preparation. Number second, there you know your strengths and weaknesses. So if you think that you have those capabilities, that you will be able to get through all the readings and subjects, and you will be able to write good answers. You have good language competency, to present your answers well in the examination, I think then you should try, sir. There should, at least you should try. Uh, Apart from that, there is a lot of luck also, because many brilliant candidates, they are unable to get into the list, so that is uncontrollable. But what we can control, we should able to strategize accordingly.
I've seen a lot of UPSC aspirants, and pardon my language here, having unethical intentions. Some are going for the money, some are going for the power. What is the true intention of a UPSC servant?
Sir, again, it's a very individual specific. My intention, if you ask me personally, was that I should contribute to the society. Like I've been given some gifts like good analysis, hard work. I can do hard work. I have good analytics. So if my these skills and talents can be utilized for a greater good, uh, there is nothing more satisfying. So I took this this path to civil services.
Did you ever feel guilty about wasting a medical seat?
No, sir. I think first there was no, there was no earlier plan to get into civil services. Although I live in GTB Nagar, that's quite near to the hub of UPSC aspirants. I have seen all them throughout my childhood. There was no plan to get into civil services. It was, as I told, that it was in third year and final year internship that my mind got, heart got switched into the services. So I think bringing a medical perspective into civil services will enrich the domain expertise in the civil servants, and it will be helpful to provide crucial inputs while policy making.
Do you think AIMS, being an Amazonian, has helped you in becoming a UPSC success today?
Sir, I think AIMS has a significant part to contribute to my success, though not kind of education or the kind of preparation it requires, but the kind of people there, the soft skills or the other skills you learn. For example, the atmosphere is such that there is hunger for excellence. You have to be excellent in your field. You have to do hard work. There should be no laziness or casualness on your part. So the kind of grooming which I got in the atmosphere of AIMS and AIMSonians, I think that has significantly shaped my personality, and the kind of confidence, kind of exposure, the diversity you see, I think that also contributes in a significant way to your preparation and your success.
AIMS has given you a winner's mindset.
Definitely, sir. If we have to summarize it, you have very aptly summarized that.
For this podcast, we actually put out that we are going to interview a UPSC success, and we got a lot of questions from our audience. So now I'm going to ask you some audience questions as well. So mixture of mine and audience questions. So do you think that there is a personal life advantage in UPSC over the medical world?
Sir, although I haven't, get into the services, but based on the interviews and experiences of the civil servants, I think in medical phase there is struggle in initial years, but in civil services there is struggle all throughout, and the struggle increases as your post becomes higher because the responsibility increases. So I think that work-life balance is poor in case of civil services as well.
What do you think is the minimum time or the maximum time required to crack UPSC?
Sir, again, that depends on individuals' capability and strengths. People have qualified UPSC in as much as 6 months, and maximum, so there is no limit. So that is where, based on individuals' strengths.
How did you manage time in your internship when you were preparing for UPSC?
Sir, in morning, as I told, that there were some light duties, so I used to get free. So having a short nap, and after that, I used to prepare as long as I could. And during heavy duties, also, whatever little time I used to get, I used to prepare in that. There was no rigid schedule as such because it was not possible. I was very flexible with my schedules, and I used to just had this goal that I have to complete this subject irrespective of how much time or how much weekly targets I will be able to achieve. The focus was on completion of the subject.
Normally, how many hours per day did you average?
On average, I would say, sir, 6 to 7 hours.
You did.
Yes.
And if I just deep dive into it, so how was your main how did you factor in main reading and MCQs?
Sir, I didn't do much MCQs. Rather, I gave some mock tests at the end of preparation, like in March, April, because my prelims was due in June. At that time, I used to do solve mock test papers. Before that, I was just on reading and revising. I didn't do simultaneously MCQs there.
So basically, you went against the conventional method.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that if you have done that thing, your rank could have been much more better?
Sir, prelims marks are not been considered for calculation of ranks. So you have to just qualify the prelims. That's it. So marks doesn't calculate in generating the ranks.
And what was your strategy for mains exam?
Sir, regarding the mains, though, I had prepared some short notes on every topic. There's detailed syllabus which has been given by UPSC. You have to prepare some 1 to 2 pager notes, and you can supplement it with current affairs, like the current happenings, so that it doesn't look outdated. So that was the approach which every topper suggests, and I also did the same.
So, as a civil servant, upcoming civil servant who is going to change the future of this country, Pulkit, what are the few changes that you recommend that you will take an action on?
Sir, we can divide this into some parts. Like first, for the doctors, what we can do is the main problem today is that the junior residents, they are being overworked. There is no limit on the work hours, the duration of their duties. So we need to put an cap on the weekly duties or the daily duties, and they should be given compulsory rest for the next few days. Number second, there should be more emphasis on learning skills, practical skills, rather than running behind the various PG or entrances examination, because then what I have also observed in my medical college, that people are skipping the practical aspects of medical sciences and just focusing on coaching to crack the examination. So there should be of emphasis on skills, practical skills. Second, regarding the healthcare infrastructure of the country, we have seen that the primary and secondary health structure is not that efficient as it was supposed to be, and I think there should be the vision that every district in the country should have a medical college attached to a hospital, and the referral linkages should be very well established, so that primary screening from PHCs or secondary healthcare centers or community health centers, they just if the case is simple, they should be able to manage that, and if there is something which is out of their competency, they should be properly referred to the district hospital of that particular district. So ensuring these kind of referral linkages would ensure that resources are utilized in a much more efficient way, and people don't have to go and to big government hospitals like AIMS or other colleges, spending a lot of their money, which leads to out of pocket expenditure for them. And regarding third, sir, yeah, today there is a trend regarding violence against doctors, which is quite said, very, if very, that's very shameful for everyone in the country, because those who are there to save lives are today begging to get protection for their own life. So a strict implementation of rules and laws regarding anyone who perpetuates violence against doctors should be there. And more security, I think we can enhance more security of the hospital areas, installation of proper CCTV cameras, having bodybuilders or bodyguards there, bouncers there to protect in case of any miscommunication between patients and doctors, and more focus on improving the doctor patient communication, so that there is no miscommunication, because sometimes what happens is doctor is so overwhelmed with the work, that there is some kind of frustration with the patient, and this leads to quite aggressive, it turns out to something else. So more if I think if we have to deal with this problem, we have to do it in a whole very holistic manner, and that will improve both the doctors and the care of the patients require. So it will be a win-win situation for everyone.
You must have heard that there's a lot of toxicity amongst residents now. Seniors torturing juniors, professors torturing their own residents. Administratively, how do you think that the government could put out measures to control this thing?
Sir, I think every hospital can, create a kind of committee in which a junior resident can say his or her experiences or any grievances, and we can create a system in which transparently we can monitor that whether the complaint by the doctor, aggrieved doctor, is being resolved or not. So I think this way every college can contribute to reduce their toxicity. And we can also, sir, ensure that a kind of program has been there in which more interpersonal communication and creating a positive enabling environment for the new coming residents or MBBS students is there, so that instead of perpetuating what the seniors have gone through when they came as junior resident, we can create more positive environment for everyone so that they can achieve their true potential. And they get the satisfaction of working in those kind of job which requires a lot of effort.
So, Pulkit, I think you are the best epitome of a person who has chosen a non conventional path while being a doctor. What would your advice be to the future doctors of ours, MBBS students who are thinking non conventionally, beyond hospitals? Should they go ahead with that?
So definitely, I think even if you don't go, on unconventional path, at least you should have an exposure. At least you should try. You should get some awareness about that. Even my friends also have taken unconventional paths. Some have been into biomedical devices startups. Some are doing MBAs. So I think it's a good opportunity to realize your true potential, the kind of field you actually truly want, and then take decision accordingly. But there should never be a fear of taking risk. There should be some risk appetite, and you should follow what your heart says.
I'll ask you the last question for the podcast. Many doctors feel that when they are leaving the conventional path, they're basically betraying their field. They have a guilt factor in themselves. How should they balance that out?
Sir, I think for me, there was no guilt of leaving the medical profession and getting into civil services. I feel that I have been very privileged that country has given me the best institute to study, and it's now my time to return it back to the society. And the kind of experiences, the kind of exposures which I have gained during my MBBS will definitely help me as an administrator to give better crucial inputs, because I have been through that process already. And this way, I think it will be having a multiplier effect on the society, and the output to input ratio would be quite beneficial for the country. So I think if you can provide value to the system, it's great.
दिल की फॉलो करो, दिमाग अपने आप ठीक हो जाता है. So thank you so much, Dr. Pulkit. But this is not the end. We still have some rapid fire questions for you. All right. So here's the first question, and very simple. Two rules: super truthful and super spontaneous. All right. Favorite street food you could never say no to?
Chole bhature.
क्या बात है. Coffee or chai during study marathons?
Nothing. I'm more inclined towards water.
Funniest AIMS memory?
What I can recall is during my first day when I got into AIMS, a senior was there who interacted with me. He asked me like, what are your hobbies? So I told him that I like to collect coins, numismatics. So he said very spontaneously, "Bhikari ho kya?" So that led me laughing for quite a time. This is quite one of the vivid memories of mine.
Ragging हुई थी AIMS में?
Not crucial. Not. I think I was protected because I was a day scholar for 2 years. So I used to interact with my seniors, but not as such. Ragging. Not. There was no ragging as such.
What's the most special thing about AIMS?
People of AIMS are very hardworking, smart, and they are very strategic. They channelize their energy in a very strategic manner to achieve their goals. And there's a sense of confidence, the sense of there's spirit of learning, and this is what which makes AIMS a great institution. It's people. It's not the buildings or the logistics. It's the people, their mindset of achieving the best, and that's has led to AIMS being the number one so far.
Do you think that alumni network of AIMS is actually helpful?
Yes, sir.
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
If you have to take one thing out of AIMS, apart from the people, what would that be?
The kind of diverse opportunities and exposures, because it's number one, so more these kind of things get available to you easily, so the opportunities and exposures.
Do you think opening up of peripheral AIMS has reduced the credibility of AIMS Delhi?
No, sir, I think AIMS Delhi has created a special place in the hearts of all countrymen and women, and they have their trust. And I have witnessed that personally. That I heard once that जो कहीं ठीक नहीं होता वो एम्स दिल्ली में आगे ठीक होता है. This is what patients were saying. So I think AIMS Delhi has its own place, and creating more AIMS is to ensure that we have other colleges also of AIMS standard, which can help to increasing large amount of population which we have.
What's your favorite book?
Although, sir, I am not very fond of reading books, but Srimad Bhagavad Gita is what I read sometimes.
Are you deeply religious?
No, sir.
So Bhagavad Gita just for
Sir, Bhagavad Gita, I think, is not a religious or this religious kind of scripture. It's rather a kind. It tells you the way of life. So for having a good life, to deal with the situations, I think everyone can read Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing very sectarian or religious about it. It tells you the way of life. So there are some messages which I think it's very important, and I try to implement them.
what's your favorite part from the Shri Bhagavad Gita?
Sir, like few messages like karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karm phalehetur bhurma te samgastva karmani, which means that you have to do your karmas and the results will be in the hands of the Almighty. Then the concept of sthit pragna, which means that whether it's success or failure, you should maintain peace, the inner peace of your mind, the calmness, composure. Uh, these are some of the messages, sir, which I try to follow.
You're an amazing person, Pulkit. It's been an honor to have a conversation with you. I wish you all the success, and you are going to take our country to even a better future. And UPSC could not have got a better candidate.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you so much, guys, for being a part of our today's show. Every word was scintillating. It was a fabulous conversation. And again, as I've said, India has got a superb UPSC success. So thank you so much. We are very proud of Pulkit. And before exiting the podcast, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. And who do you want in the next guest? Please put it in the comment section. Thank you so much. And do not forget to take risk. Everything is possible. Thank you so much.